Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to put on our virtual plumber hats to separate the glossy manufacturer specs of the Navien NPE-240A2 Tankless water heater from its day-to-day reality. Look, if you're thinking about upgrading your home's water heating system, you've definitely come across this specific model. But we really need to look past the marketing hype to see how it actually performs when your family is demanding hot water.
Right out of the gate, we're hit with this massive number, 240,000. This unit is in the 240,000 BTU class capacity. On paper, that promises high-demand hot water without the need for some giant bulky storage tank hogging space in your basement. It's a huge capacity, designed to handle heavy usage. But as we're about to see, having a massive BTU rating is really just one piece of a much larger puzzle.
To get the full picture today, we're going to follow a pretty straightforward roadmap. 1. The real-world tankless experience. 2. Balancing household hot water. 3. The truth about efficiency. 4. Installation makes or breaks it. And 5. Maintenance is not optional.
Okay, jumping into Section 1, the real-world tankless experience. Let's talk about what actually happens when that crazy morning rush hits and you start running showers and filling tubs simultaneously.
The difference between the old-school tanks and these newer systems is practically night and day. With a traditional tank system, you are literally heating water 24/7. That means you suffer from continuous standby losses just trying to keep that giant tank hot. Tankless systems, though, they only heat water exactly when you demand it. Their output physically modulates, meaning it adjusts based on how much water is flowing through the unit at any given second. But since there's no reserve tank to draw from, their performance depends entirely on whether your simultaneous hot water needs exceed what the heater can physically sustain at that exact moment. So, here's the absolute crucial point. While this specific Navien model offers way more consistent hot water than smaller tankless units out there, it's highly conditional. It has to be properly sized for your specific household demand. I mean, if you've got 4 teenagers showering at once while the dishwasher is running, even a 240,000 BTU beast has limits. The actual feel of the performance is completely tied to managing your peak flow rate. Moving right along to Section 2, balancing household hot water. Let's see how this plays out in your daily routine when multiple people are demanding water at the exact same time all over the house. Temperature stability is basically the make or break feature for whether you'll love or hate a tankless system. In practice, just setting a reasonable target temperature drastically improves your day-to-day experience. If you push that target temp too high, especially in cold weather, you're forcing the unit to overwork. It literally has to compensate for the freezing cold water coming in from the city pipes. By keeping your set temperature reasonable, you prevent unnecessary cycling and thankfully avoid that dreaded, shrieking cold water shock mid-shower when someone turns on another faucet. Now, we threw around the word modulate earlier, so let's properly define it. To modulate just means the heater is dynamically adjusting its burners in real time. Because these units modulate, the Navien's internal control logic works incredibly hard to maintain your set temperatures. So when someone flips on a kitchen faucet midway through your shower, the unit instantly senses the change in flow and ramps up or down to try and keep your shower temperature perfectly stable.
All right, Section 3, the truth about efficiency. Because let's be real, the word tankless doesn't automatically mean always cheaper in every single scenario.
Your primary savings with the NPE-240A2 come directly from ditching that 24/7 standby heating we talked about. For families with irregular schedules, like maybe you shower in the morning, do dishes at night, and you're gone all weekend, paying only when hot water is actively demanded translates into huge, noticeable savings over traditional standby-heavy systems. You just aren't paying to keep a 50-gallon tank piping hot while the house is completely empty. But, and this is a big but, your actual realized efficiency on that utility bill is heavily dependent on real-world factors. Are your pipes properly insulated? Is the venting correctly installed to prevent heat loss? Plus, your local water chemistry plays a massive role. Hard water can quickly degrade the condition of your heat exchanger. If you've got hard water and you skip maintenance, your heater has to burn way more gas just to push heat through all that mineral scale, which can completely wipe out your expected efficiency savings. Which brings us to Section 4. Installation makes or breaks it. This is a critical threshold, guys. The NPE-240A2 can deliver incredible results, but it is highly unforgiving if the installation details fall short. Think of these 4 crucial installation dependencies as your ultimate mental checklist. First, you need proper sizing for your home's peak simultaneous use, not just the average. Second, and this is huge, you must have sufficient gas supply capacity. A 240,000 BTU heater demands a massive volume of gas. If your home's gas lines are too small or your venting design is off, the system will struggle, it'll choke, or throw error codes no matter how high quality the unit itself is. Third, matching water pressure and flow conditions. And fourth, accurate climate-based temperature settings. The contrast here is wild. If you pair this bad boy with borderline flow demand or poorly matched fixtures, like say massive luxury shower heads combined with undersized gas lines, you are going to experience capacity complaints fast. The water won't get hot enough, or the flow will just drop. And here's the real kicker. This can happen even if the heater itself is working exactly as designed. It's just starved of the resources it needs to do its job.
Finally, Section 5, maintenance is not optional. We've got to talk about long-term ownership and the reality of keeping this complex piece of machinery running at peak performance year after year.
Honestly, if you only take away one thing from this entire explainer, make it this: maintenance isn't optional. With a traditional tank, a lot of homeowners just kind of ignore it until it rusts out a decade later. You absolutely cannot do that here. Scaling and mineral buildup inside the tiny pathways of the heat exchanger will inevitably increase operating strain and drastically reduce heat transfer efficiency over time. To keep this unit performing like the day it came out of the box, you have to adopt a strict maintenance routine. Step 1. Assess your local water hardness. Step 2. Consult your local installer to see how frequently they recommend service for your specific area. And Step 3. Actually perform a seasonal or annual descaling and flush. This usually involves pumping a descaling solution, often just white vinegar, through the unit for about an hour to break down all those harsh minerals.
So, here is the bottom line. The Navien NPE-240A2 is a fantastic piece of technology and an incredible option for high-output needs. It completely eliminates standby losses and can run virtually forever without running out of hot water, provided you've planned for correct sizing, invested in expert installation, and actually committed to ongoing maintenance. It's a system that truly rewards preparation.
So I'll leave you with this question to ponder. You've seen the impressive technology, but are you prepared for the reality? Based on your home's gas supply, your peak water draw, and your willingness to keep up with annual maintenance, is the NPE-240A2 truly the right fit for your home? Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer, and keep learning.